Happy 4th of July, everyone. Here at Little Brotherhood Studios, we are celebrating the greatest country in the world with a big collage of a bunch of different MoCs that I've designed over the years that are not necessarily designed for Project Toa. Due to the nature of this video being pretty long, we're going to jump right in with our first MoC, which is one that I designed back in 2010 for the Bionicle Who Am I contest. This was my entry. I'm calling this a true VOC. But I quickly realized that perhaps I misunderstood the rules and I think it's supposed to be a kind of a digital MoC as opposed to a literal MoC. So, blah. Now for a Lord of the Rings MoC. This Treebeard figure I actually made for a Brotherhood workshop many years ago. Some of you have probably seen it before, but this one took me a couple months to make. It was really difficult. I mean, he turned out looking great. Debatably possibly better than the Treebeard figure that came with the Tower of Isengard Lego set. Of course, with the design being so spot on, that also leaves a lot of room for fragility. But Kevin was happy with them, and I was very happy to see Lego Treebeard appear in at least 2 or 3 of his Brotherhood Workshop videos. And after Treebeard, Kevin also requested I make him a couple of Ents. So call this one Barrelhead, this one Mr. Twiggy. We're just gonna call him Sparks, because he's the one who gets caught on fire in the movie. Now this MoC right here is basically just a repaint of Axon. I gave him a really nice gloss, painted over his burgundy red, and gave him a really nice chrome silver style armor. Not too much to this one, but he's actually a whole lot prettier than the original Axon model. Now this is a fun one. This was actually based on a joke that my brother and one of my friends were playing Matui online game together. We were ad-libbing all the characters in the game. And this Matoran with the taxi crab service, we're kind of pointing out the obvious fact that you never seem to pay for any of your taxi crab rides. I'm sure that irritated this guy to no end, which is why we have a little sign saying taxi crab service not for free. So, Takua owes this guy a bundle of widgets. Another Lord of the Rings MoC, the Bog of Morgoth. This was a Lego set that me and Christopher were actually always looking forward to its release, only to find out that it never was going to get released at all. So this was another MoC that I made for Brotherhood Workshop, and it was tricky, but I actually found the Balrog so much more interesting to build than Treebeard and all the Ents. It's much more reptilian in nature, and I feel like that's easier to capture with Bionicle parts. I wanted to be able to rig him with lights so that he could glow from the inside out, but it was a bit of a time crunch, and that was just not happening. I wasn't sure how to do it. I didn't have enough translucent orange pieces, so I gave that to Kevin on his birthday, and he's used them in multiple videos in Brotherhood Workshop since, which was really cool seeing this big, monstrously sized figure come to life in an actual Lego video. It looks pretty good. I mean, I love the effects that Kevin did on him. It really completed his design quite nicely. Now this Mandalorian and Baby Yoda figure I also did for one of my brothers, and he turned out quite nicely. I mean, I was surprised at how well I was able to capture this character. And yeah, I mean, it's like Lego should have done buildable figures of the Mandalorian series, but they didn't, so I did, and I think he turned out really well. Baby Yoda was tricky. I actually had to do a couple of different clay heads for him before I finally settled on one that I actually liked. But yeah, and I even gave him the little ball from that joystick he keeps yanking off inside the Razor Crest. So he's got his little toy with him. Trolls. This was another Brotherhood Workshop project. I went and bought a couple of cave trolls and gave him a repaint and gave him some armor, trying to recreate these attack trolls that enter Minas Tirith, and I think he turned out quite nicely. This one I was very excited to make was the Ologhai troll that fights Aragorn at the end of Return of the King at the Battle of the Black Gates. He was always one of my favorite trolls ever, and I designed this one for an upcoming video for Brotherhood Workshop, and I just think these little troll minifigures look so good in armor. It's one of my dreams one day to design a full suit of troll armor for the action figure sized Black Gates troll. Now, as you've probably guessed, this is another Brotherhood Workshop project we worked on. Now, I know LEGO just released the Tower of Barad-dûr and a special Nazgul Fellbeast set that you can also get. I didn't really feel like they did this creature justice, so I thought it would be an interesting time to release the one that I made years ago. Kevin asked me one day if I'd be able to make him a Witch King of Angmar Ringwraith minifigure, the helmet, because they never made the helmet. And I was like, what are you going to do with a Witch King when you do not have a fell beast for him to ride? So I went the extra mile and built him a full-fledged, full-scale fell beast dragon figure to go with the Witch King of Angmar. It was a bit of a process, and I actually filmed and photographed my progress each day working on this dragon creature. I also made this kind of spiked helmet for the fell beast, for the Witch King's mount. It is removable, so you can have a regular fell beast, or you can put this helmet on, and you've got the special one. You've got the special iconic fell beast that the Witch King rides. The wingspan of this creature was absolutely monstrous, and had to use a lot of cloth for it. Even at this scale, it looks good, but the wings are still incredibly undersized compared to the creature that you'd see in the movie. The fell beasts you see in the movie are massive. I mean, they dwarf the Balrog, and it's like, good grief. You don't realize the scale of these things until you see them flying over the dead marshes, and it's like, oh my goodness, they're huge. I'm very happy with how he turned out. I'm so looking forward to see this creature appear in Brotherhood Workshop video.
Dun, 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 dun.
Wow.
Oh, that's amazing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
That's worth it.
That is impressive.
What is it? What's his name?
His name is Gary, and he is a flying serpent / fell beast.
Right. And then stab you in the back.
Now show them, because they haven't seen it.
Now make the sound he makes.
It's a little higher pitch.
That's one ring, right?
Oh, right. There.
Okay.
Okay, never mind.
You asked for it.
The baby wakes up.
Now this MoC is basically just an assembling of the Fellowship. I actually made these for my mom. Is all 9 members of the Fellowship in action figure form that she has on display in her study. But I also went and tried to make her a small Fellowship of the Ring in Lego form. As you can imagine, that was expensive, but so worth it. This Rahi MoC is pretty self-explanatory. It is a Tatarok, but it is a black Tatarok. Now this is my first Chronicles of Narnia Lego MoC I've ever done. This is one that I actually designed for my mom for Christmas. That she really enjoyed this one. It's basically the wardrobe, which opens up into the land of Narnia with the lamppost. So here we have a little custom Lucy Pevensey minifigure based on the movie. We also have a fawn, Mr. Tumnus, with his little umbrella. Now, I couldn't get him to hold any parcels or packages, but I love the scarf on him. It's like the scarf just, oh man, that looks so good. The Hobbit hair really solidified this set. And these Darth Maul robot legs just made for a perfect fawn leg structure with a little bit of additional work happening. Now for my brother's short film, Storm, I really wanted to design him the monster named Mr. Schnurdly in Lego form. So I made him this kind of little Lego set with Mr. Schnurdly. And I made a custom minifigure of Sydney. And she's not too crazy about it. Because they're very iconic characters from this film, I just wanted to create this sort of diorama with Sydney looking out the door and seeing Mr. Schnurdly looking in. And I was like, oh, it's just a very ominous, fairly iconic scene. Even though it doesn't quite happen in the movie like that, I just thought it was an epic diorama recreation of this movie. Now, I loved this Matui figure as soon as he came out. I always wanted to recreate the one in the movie. There are a couple variations, one of them being the fact that he's gold. In fact, the day I got Matui, I saw that almost cheddar yellow, and I was like, no. And so I immediately spray painted all the yellow pieces gold. And that started this whole idea to try to recreate this MoC almost just like the movie one. Sword, shield, click, the beetle. It may seem like a simple recreation to anyone who has not tried to do so. It's very complex, trying to recreate that Vorok sword and Click's shield, and even cut away his mask so that you can have his movable mouth on the inside. Just like the movie whenever the mouth part would retract. And I thought it turned out so well. So I went into this with the exact same idea as the movie Matui, and that is basically it's the same set, just spray painted gold, and it looks so much better. Don't freak out, I did not spray paint the pearl gold Mask of Life. I just got a silver one and spray painted that one. So that is my Toa Matanui, or what I'd like to say and call my Titan Matanui.
There should be no fear. We are protected, and we will always be protected. We will be protected by the great men and women of our military and law enforcement. And most importantly, we will be protected by God.
Now, being that this is our first July 4th video, I felt like it would be wrong not to mention our rightful president, one of our greatest presidents of all time, Donald J. Trump. I am honestly a really big fan of this man, and his policies, and just about everything he did while in that White House. He honestly does not get enough credit. And from the inspiration of this admiration came this Bionicle-designed President Trump MoC. Of course, would not be complete without his First Lady. I have basically been working on these two on and off for many years, mostly off. Just don't always have time to devote to them. They were hard. They were hard to build, hard to sculpt, but I'm so glad I got them done. Finally. He and Melania Trump just look so great together. I mean, Trump went through so many different paint jobs on his face, and I feel like paint job number 7 looked good, and then I tried to improve it and it got a little worse. And of course I had to recreate Melania's iconic white hat. My only regret, I wish they came out a little better. He is such a unique individual, he is almost impossible to recreate well. Thank you for your service, Mr. President. All of Little Brotherhood Studios is praying for you.
In Jesus' name, we bless you. Amen.
You do what God called you to do. You show up. You put one foot in front of the other. You have no idea what God has calling for you. You have no idea where you're going, and in some cases, you don't know why. But He needs you. He needs me. He needs all of us. It is God that is the answer.
They said to me the other day, "You're the most famous person in the world by far." I said, "No, I'm not. No, I'm not." They said, "Who's more famous?" I said, "Jesus Christ." Jesus Christ.
Now, ever since Bionicle Stars came out, I've always wanted to see a revamp of some of these characters. But more than that, what I've always wanted to see, we got the original Tahu back for this one line. Even if he wasn't the best figure. Why didn't we get the rest of the Toa back? I mean, I love Tahu, he's an icon, but Tahu's nothing without the rest of his team. So I sat down and decided to recreate the rest of the Toa in star form, or Toa Mata form, whatever you want to call it. really like how most of these turned out. But I really felt the need to go the extra mile with these MoCs and also give them their gold masks. And of course, we also have Tahu Star's classic Golden Armor edition, or what they would call the Golden Bionicle, which kind of sounds lame. And I just feel like Tahu's original mask, it just fits this MoC better than the Tahu Star's version. And since these fully posable Avmatoran bodies are so universal, I thought, you know what? Why not just sit down and recreate the Toa Nuva? Now, with both Pohatu and Lewa, I decided to try to update their masks a little bit, especially Lewa's, because, to be quite honest, some of these Toa Nuva mask designs are just like the worst. Golly was alright, when you fill in her pig nostrils. Now, I've always been a big fan of the Geonosians from Star Wars Episode 2. I just thought their design was so neat. Of course, I had to recreate their design in Bionicle form. Some of you have seen this one already. I was very happy with how it turned out. But I was never quite satisfied with the minifigure design either. I mean, giving them just standard minifig bodies seemed like a mistake, so using this kind of Clone Wars General Grievous body, I tried to do a bit of a recreation of Geonosian minifigure as well. Now, last but not least, I've done a very slight variation on Baraki Nocturne. Personally, my favorite of the Baraki, and honestly, one of my favorite design Bionicle sets ever. The main alterations I did with this guy, I tried to add more translucent blue parts to him than before, especially with the limbs, giving him the blue sea squid, kind of matches coloration, and did a little bit of work on his legs. Most of it's just small variations because, he looks amazing already. Now, I'd love to do a fully remade version of Nocturne, for Project Toa designed, but I've got no reason to right now, and I'm really happy with how the toy one looks, and I just wanted to add a few little additional touches and details that I feel like just make him feel great. Actually, the thing that makes him feel great right now is those red LEDs. I mean, seriously. I love Baraki with lit up eyes. It's just so beautiful. Kind of scary looking too. And that is the end of our July 4th MoC Collage video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for watching this video. God bless you all on this glorious 4th of July. And remember, the best is yet to come.